tide toward a victory.
Jacob Reed.
Tucker Olshavy. Ladies and gentlemen, the museum is now closing. Please exit the building and thank you for visiting the National D-Day Museum. Are they gone?
Yeah, I think so. Sir, do you have light?
Sure, Buck. Here you go. You know, I was just thinking about D-Day and our time with 101st Airborne. You know, Easy Company was a part of history.
Yes, sir. It was the first time the United States used 101st Airborne Forces during World War II.
It's where U.S. parachuters could drop behind enemy lines, destroying important targets and taking key cities, which ensured our success. We were significant turning the tide toward a victory.
Company, attention! At ease. Alright, men, listen up. We're going to have one last briefing prior to invasion. Lieutenant Winters?
Men, this invasion will begin with the largest parachute drop ever attempted in warfare. The 101st Airborne's mission is to drop in the vicinity of Saint-Mary-du-Mont and seize 4 causeways behind Utah Beach on the Continent Peninsula. The estuary of the Dew River divides 2 beachheads, codenamed Utah, here, and Omaha, here. Seaborne infantry will hit these beaches in force in a date and time to be specified. H-hour D-Day. Our objective, men, is to take the town of Carentan, thus linking Utah and Omaha into one continuous beachhead.
Each trooper will learn this operation by heart and know his and every outfit's mission to the detail. Yes, trooper. When it's time for you to know we're dropping, we'll let you know. Until then, study those sand tables, maps, and reconnaissance photos. Until you can draw a map of the area by heart. We'll drop behind the Atlantic Wall 5 hours before the 4th Infantry Division lands at Utah Beach.
Between our assembly area and the battalion's objective, there's a German garrison right here. In this area, Saint-Mary-du-Mont. Easy Company will destroy that garrison. Before we get underway, I would like to share with you a message from General Eisenhower. You are about to embark upon a great crusade towards which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. I have full confidence in you, and we will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessings of Almighty God in this great and noble undertaking. Any questions?
Company, attention! Dismissed.
The German guns who have been here and have been spotted in the field down the road at Brecourt Manor. Lieutenant Colonel Strayer wants us to take them out.
Does Strayer know that Easy only has 12 men?
No, it didn't come up. And that doesn't matter, that's our mission. There are 2 guns that we know of, firing on the Utah Beach. We plan on a 3rd and a 4th here and here. The Germans are in the trenches, with access to the entire batteries and machine guns covering the rear. We'll establish a base of fire and move under it hard and fast with 1st and 2nd squad.
How many Krauts are we facing?
No idea. Leave Gott, you take the 1st machine gun with Petty. Plusha, Hendricks, you take the other. Who does that leave? Compton, Malarkey, Toy, Garnier. We'll be making the main assault. Understood?
Yes, sir. All right, man. Weapons and ammo only. Drop everything else. Petty, Flesha, you get those guns talking. Once you've established your base of fire, assault force, move in. I have spotty memories of the action at Brecourt. I remember springing through hedgerows and jumping into a trench. The Germans were armed to the hilt and firing at us. That one ran out into the open. I tossed a frag at him. The grenade was right on the money and killed him dead. That was my first kill. Ask me today what it's like to kill a man in combat? Won't say much. I have no idea who he was, what he did outside of war, or if he had a family. You just don't think. The sense of duty had long since taken over.
I will say this. Our attack on Brecourt has been written up in the military textbooks as a model of small unit assault. But nothing seemed very by the book about it to me. It seemed more like ad-lib fighting, developing strategy as we went along. Maybe that's his all. The American military man is taught ingenuity. If he's thrown into a chaotic situation, he figures how to dig himself out.
I don't remember when victory was last declared at Brecourt. All the German guns were eventually silenced. History has shown that we saved a lot of lives with the troops landing at Utah that day. If our action saved any of the boys' lives, well, that's part of what we were there to do.
Buck, you received the Silver Star, and I received the Distinguished Service Cross that day. But success in military operation isn't about medals. It always feels short-lived. You shoulder your rifle and you move on to the next battle. The 29th Division come from Omaha is linked up with us to drive the Germans out of Carentan. This has secured the beachhead, but it can't be established inland until we take Carentan.
This will be tough, due to 3 reasons: lack of sufficient armor and artillery, the skill and determination of the defenders, and the hedgerows, 6 feet high with narrow lanes dividing them. They're more like trenches, so solid they could stop a tank.
I know. Each hedgerow is a major enemy position. And there's so damn many of them. This is about as bad a place to mount infantry assault as can be imagined. But it has to be done, and the task falls to the 101st Airborne.
Our battalion will be attacking down the road on the southwest side of Carentan. This will put us in a position to cut off or trap the German troops that will be forced from Carentan by the remainder of the division. They will be forced to use the swamps and flooded areas in their retreat or face annihilation.
Okay, what 1st platoon on the left, 2nd platoon on the right, and 3rd in the rear to secure the intersection. Move out!
Just as the attack started, a German machine gun started firing down the road. I can still hear those rounds buzzing overhead. That gun was in a perfect position at the perfect time to wipe out our entire attack.
Our men on both sides of the road froze and kept their heads down the ditches. To my rear, Colonel Strayer was hollering at me. Get them moving, winners! Get them moving! I dropped all my gear, jumped out of the ditch with my unwinded hand, screaming at the top of my voice, get going, you have no cover here! Go! Go! I'll never forget the surprise and fear of those faces looking up at me.
Well, that did it. No man in the company had ever seen you shout before. It was so out of character, we moved out as one man and started to clear houses on both sides of the intersection. By 0700, we had the intersection under control. By tossing grenades and killing the machine gun crew that had been firing steadily since our attack had begun.
In taking the intersection, Easy Company had sustained 10 casualties.
Next, we began to pursue the retreating Germans. They had established a defense on the high grounds west of Carentan. They had excellent fields of fire and heavy hedgerows for protection.
Under fire, the 506 was committed to the right-hand side of the road. Our mission was to anchor the railroad track to trend alongside the flooded area.
At 0530, all hell broke loose as we prepared our final attack to force Germans from the outskirts of Carentan. Both sides opened up with artillery, and there was a hail of lead going in both directions.
Under that intense fire, our sister company broke loose and ran without permission from battalion headquarters. D Company then also retreated. Easy Company was now alone on the front line. We held fast. A German tank tried to break through a hedge on our left flank, but Lieutenant Welsh and his bazooka man sent it around through its unarmored belly.
By mid-afternoon, we were finally relieved by the 2nd Armored Division, consisting of approximately 60 tanks and fresh infantry. What a sight it was to see those tanks pouring in on the Germans.
Over the course of war, Easy Company had participated in numerous battles. Without a doubt, the toughest fight of the war was the German counterattack on Carentan on June 13, 1944. When we held our positions, when the air companies ran, served as a tribute to the fighting spirit of the American paratrooper. Easy Company had jumped into Normandy on June 6 and was pulled out of the line on June 29. The 506 had taken the heaviest casualties of any regiment in the campaign, at about 50%.
For the 101st, the Battle of Carentan was the last action of the Normandy campaign. They were gradually pulled back to a camp north of Utah to be evacuated back to England.
Seeing that beachhead for the first time, the vast armada of ships in every direction, as far as the eye can see, seeing the American flag on the beach, left me feeling weak in the knees. For a few moments, brought tears to my eyes. I've never looked at our flag since without that memory in mind.
It's like you said, war does not make men great, but it does bring out the greatness in good men.
My memories always return to Easy Company, to a time when a group of young men joined together to fight for freedom and to liberate a world from tyranny. No one will ever be forgotten.